What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's a little bit windy out by the road today, so the audio might not be the best, but we're gonna make the best of it because it's raining tomorrow, and as of right now, we've still got somewhat clear skies. Today's mission is for the 335. You can see behind me, the hood is all covered in some sort of bird poop, and worse than that, it's covered in some things that are a lot harder to get off. Mainly right here at the top above the headlight, we've got some pretty deep scratches. Now, I've been told by some pretty good body guys before that this looks like there may have been a collision on the car at some point in its life, and essentially what happened is the primer underneath the paint has started cracking, which makes it look like a scratch, but it's not a scratch, it's cracking primer. Now, this could probably be fixed by a body shop, but I'm gonna choose to do it a slightly different way. And in this trailer of goodies, we have some new body parts, the most exciting of which is a carbon fiber hood. I'm gonna set this down, unload this stuff, and we're gonna do an unboxing video for this carbon fiber hood. But not only unboxing, because that's kind of lame, we're gonna unbox it and actually take a stab at getting it installed, lined up, and looking pretty on the car. Let's check it out. All right, so I'm pretty jacked. Got it out of the trailer, got all the wrapping off, set it down on these extra snow tires. And this is the first time I've actually seen this hood. This is the GTS style M3 hood for a regular 3 Series. Remember, an M3 hood does not fit on a 3 Series. It has to be an M3 style hood made for the 3 Series. The M3 hood comes out further, so it won't fit your car properly. Overall impressions, I would say, like, honestly guys, a little disappointed and also excited. Excited because it's my first carbon fiber hood, and just seeing this much brand new carbon in person is really cool. Like, it's a very neat design. It's hard not to just keep staring at it. But here's why I'm disappointed. First of all, I'm not very experienced with carbon, but this feels like it might just be a carbon overlay over top of steel. The hood is actually still pretty heavy, and on the bottom, it just looks like black paint. So maybe someone knows something I don't, but this kind of seems like it's a carbon fiber laid steel hood. So just a quick note about what I just said. Once I put the hood on, I realized that the OEM hood is a fair bit heavier. Not like super noticeably, but definitely noticeably. So it led me to believe that maybe it is real carbon and I'm just know nothing about carbon fiber. So I went to the website that I bought the hood from. It says that it is real carbon fiber. Now, for those of you with more experience with carbon fiber than me, let me know in the comments if you think this is a hybrid between carbon and FRP, maybe a cheaper form of carbon, something that would lead it to be heavier than one would think it should be and not have a carbon pattern on the back, just a painted black pattern. What causes that? Let me know if you know the answer. The second part, and this is the first thing I noticed, these M3 style vents fit in the front corners pretty well, and the back corners, not that well at all. So I would say the fitment here is like a 5 out of 10. If you go over to this vent, it's unfortunately the exact same thing. Just kind of looks like it's sort of like sticking up. And there's even some lift in that. That's pretty cheap. And the third thing that sort of disappoints me, to be honest, I couldn't decide between the GTR style and just the regular M3 style, but I went for the GTR style because N54s run really hot. And I said, what the heck, extra vents probably can't be a bad idea. Well, they can be when they're not real. These are just a design. They're not functional. There is no breathing area in here at all. So kind of bummed, honestly, but whatever, you know. This hood was basically $1,000. I've seen them a lot more expensive. $4,000. Yeah, I guess I don't get the functional vents and maybe it doesn't save a lot of weight, but it does look really, really good. And I don't think I'm going to lose a lot on it if I run it for a couple years and sell it used, because people are always looking for these things and the price seems to always be going up. So let's run it, let's install it and see how it looks on old Atlantic Blue. It's going to be the first Atlantic Blue car I've ever seen with a carbon fiber hood. You've seen it before on E92s, but you've never seen it on an Atlantic Blue one, I can guarantee. And if I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. But if I'm right, you got to subscribe to the channel.
To swap over the hood, you're going to need the right and the left latches, which come off with a Phillips screw. You'll also need the center latch, which comes off with a T27 or T30. And of course, you'll need to remove these hydraulics with a flat screwdriver on the little spring at the end. When it comes to removing the actual hood, a 12mm or another T27 will remove both bolts from either side.
Starting to run out of daylight, but we got the old hood off, and I just want to show you one thing. Come with me. Easiest way to get the old hood off, I wish we got video of us doing it, but because the bracket on the car, if you take a look at this, come in close, you can see it's slotted at the front. So you don't actually need to remove the bolt at the front all the way because it'll just slide out. You remove the back one on each side, leave the front ones in really loose. They're actually still in the hood, and just slot it in. So we're gonna do the reverse to get the carbon hood on. I'm just gonna put the two front bolts on, loose, slot it in. I'm gonna have my wife, who's recording right now, hold the hood up while I tighten down the bolts, and then we'll swap all the hardware from the stock hood over to the carbon hood while it's on the car. Getting a little cold, eh?
Yeah.
So with the carbon hood upside down, you just thread the top bolt in a little ways on both sides. Now we're gonna do this side. Just a few threads like that, leaving some of this added protection on just in case. And we're gonna get it on the car. So we ran out of daylight, but luckily we have the garage with some pretty good lights, and we're just doing some final test fitting now on the carbon fiber hood. I must say I'm feeling pretty good about things for the most part. Now these latches transferred over. A lot of times when you do a carbon fiber hood, you need to go with hood pins to secure the hood, but BMW uses a triple latching device which from my understanding is strong enough to latch the aftermarket hood to the car without any real concerns. These are T27s or T30s. Swap these over from the other car. These actually are kind of a really unique design. So you just pop out a Phillips screw here. It's a plastic screw that pops out with this little fastener in there that blows up inside that hole. And then you can use these even on your stock hood to adjust the height that the hood sits on top of the front grills. So we noticed there was more of a gap on this side of the car than there was on this side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and thread this in about, let's say, I'm gonna go with four threads. So two full turns, which is 2 threads. And then this lines it back up when you line it up with the hole. Put the screw back in and we'll check the fitment again. Feels latched. I don't like that. Do you hear that? That's because this fastener was loose inside the threads. The threads didn't feel... Once again, I just don't think the quality of the hood is the highest because that little fastener I was just showing you, it doesn't get tight inside the hood. It wobbles around.
The installation of the carbon fiber hood and the matching carbon fiber kidney grills took between 1 and 2 hours combined. I would rate it about a 1 out of 5 in the difficulty scale. The only real skill that you need is actually being able to line it up without getting headstrong and deciding to just slap it on your car and letting it rub up against your fenders. But that's pretty much common sense. Having someone to help you hold the hood like my wife did for me and line it up is crucial. I'm sure it could be done by yourself, but it would be very challenging and you would risk a lot more damage. Overall, I would say this hood is about a 6 or 7 out of 10. Not exactly what I expected, but for the money, a totally good investment, and I'm very glad that I got it. If the vents were functional and the threads underneath were a little stronger, this would be a home run.
All right, guys, that about wraps it up for this video. Thanks again for coming back to the channel and watching. We got lots more content coming with some videos on the 328 wagon, the Evo, the 135, and of course, what I think is probably the crowd favorite, the 335. I know it certainly is for me, and when I start making videos about other stuff, y'all are like, what happened to the 335 build? Well, don't worry. Lots more coming on that and lots more coming on the other cars. Make sure to follow High School Teacher on Instagram and on YouTube. And until then, see you next time.